do you remember like the premise of that, or do you
I
want me
think
to
the
try
premise
and?
wasn't the premise just like who are people that you kind of follow in the digital marketing space? Isn't that what it was? Or people that are
I think it
just
was
doing
just like
interesting stuff?
following on social media. Like, who are
Mm,
you consuming?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. I've got pulled up a couple. I've got a few.
Okay, cool.
Most all on Twitter. Right,
Okay,
all on Twitter.
interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Um, is that the main place that you're like consuming content?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the last time I opened up Instagram. I haven't been looking at Facebook other than like, our community and stuff like that.
I don't look at
Mostly
Facebook at all,
I've been looking at
honestly.
Twitter a ton. I don't know why. I don't know why I've been looking at Twitter a ton, but I have been. I don't know. I've been into Twitter lately, but I don't actually. That part of me is like not wanting to be into Twitter as much as I am. I was like, I think I
Hmm.
need to like get rid of this on my phone because like I have found myself getting sucked into it a little bit, and I've realized I haven't done a good job curating my Twitter. And so like I have a
Yeah,
lot of, especially since Elon took over, I feel like a lot of my feed has changed. And I'm trying to go back and actually like curate it to stuff that's useful and business stuff and personal finance stuff. So I'm getting back there, but in the process, I've kind
yeah.
of found new people to follow.
Well, I'll share just like a couple of like kind of how I consume content for people that are interested because I think it might be useful. So I've actually started consuming more since I started creating content because I had gotten to like a zero consumption place almost.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was just like distracting. But then when I started creating content, I realized that you have to get new ideas and you have to hear other people talk, not so you can like take their ideas, but because they say something that makes your mind go, that like knocks a screw loose and takes you down like a rabbit hole. So
Right.
I've been like very intentional about what I consume. And even though the main place that I'm creating content right now is on TikTok, it's probably where I consume the least. I try to pay attention and curate that to see kind of like what is trending and what's working now and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't do a ton of consumption on there because I'm not sure how much to trust some of it. I think it's kind of the Wild West, and I think the barrier to entry on TikTok is pretty low.
Right.
But the nice thing about that, if you're a creator and you really know your stuff, is that it's very easy to stand out and provide a lot more depth and be unique there compared to somewhere like Twitter that's more established. So
Right.
not really consuming as much there. YouTube by far my biggest consumption platform. I treat it like a podcast. I listen to videos and I listen to podcast clips. Like I basically will scroll through YouTube, save to my watch later, and I have that if I'm cooking, whatever. So that's kind of my biggest area. And then Twitter, I've gotten into Twitter a lot too.
Yeah.
Um, I like the ability to sort people into lists. And the now you can
See.
bookmark tweets and you can categorize them. And so I'm using Twitter more and more for really for ideas and just because I think it's interesting. I like reading, stuff, and sometimes like an educational type thing is like if they've taken the time to write it and be concise, it's usually more powerful.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you really want to go deep on an issue, maybe YouTube is better. But I like that part of it. So that's kind of like I'm finding myself reading these curated lists on Twitter kind of in the evening.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to YouTube when I'm driving, when I'm cooking, when I'm working on the property, stuff like that. So, and I'm not on Facebook at all. And honestly, Instagram, there's a couple of coaches that are old school that I might look at their posts, but mainly just like looking at memes people send me. Like that's really all Instagram has turned into. But
Yeah.
what's that like for you? I mean, are you using anything?
Man, I look at Twitter, but I never use the social media platforms to their full functionality. Like I know that you can do lists and I know you can do all that stuff. And I haven't been doing that. I'm not really sure why. I think it's like I don't actually like put time into I don't know. I don't really put time into social media, like trying to figure out how to do it the right way, like as far as like consuming it. But I still do find myself scrolling. I think I actually just like kind of habitually do what a lot of people do. And I just like grab my phone and I'll look at Twitter while I'm like sitting
Sure.
on the couch or something. Um, but I actually find that like I am most interested in the things that I disagree with. And so I
Mm.
don't know. I just like keep, I kind of like, I'll scroll through and I see all these things that I disagree with. And I like internally start getting annoyed. And then I'm like, okay, I got to put this phone down because I'm just getting annoyed because I don't like to actually tweet. So I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
tweet back at them, but I just like,
yeah.
that's stupid. I don't like that. Or, I don't believe that or whatever. I
Mhm.
do more of that than like finding inspirational content for myself, which is really interesting.